Now this model is old enough not to have a problem with turning the battery system off. Later ones with coded bits and pieces, coded alarms, coded radios, you might have a problem. I don't know because I haven't got one and don't want one. But this was easy to do. This is a very, very thick card here in the boot, which I'm pulling out, and I'm not sure if you can see the terminations, but I just drilled a hole, popped it in and bolted it in. There's the connections. I got hold of some different battery terminations. You can get these made up. There's someone on eBay that will give you various lengths and terminations. So I did that on both sides. So we've got battery isolators on both sides, and when the car's not in use, I just switch them off. If I'm going somewhere and leaving it, rather than use the alarm system, which is overcomplicated and a pain in the neck in my opinion, I just take those out. Nobody can nick it then under any circumstances. They've got to get into the boot first anyway. So I pop that back on to so it's the battery's connected, and everything is they tell you where the jack is and all the other bits and pieces, and two clips there to pop it in. Another thing I did was put an umbrella up here. The later models have got two umbrellas on that bulkhead, but I only I wanted one, so I just popped one up there. So I put the carpet back in to make sure it's clean. It's all Velcro, so you have to get it right. There we are. There's the battery charger. As I say, if that isn't included, walk away. Now with the boot, you just push it down and electric motors will close it. And this has got a magnet on it, that little B, and that will stop it moving about. Now the other thing I would look for if I was buying this green label is that the underneath, which you can't really see, but at the front there's a plastic tray, and this one was in pretty poor condition. A lot of the fixings were missing, which showed whoever serviced it didn't respect it. So I redid that, and all the way underneath there are plastic trays, aerodynamic as much as anything, I would imagine. And I would check to see that they're all in position and not damaged. The first thing that people would do to gain easy access to things is take all the panelling off underneath. If that's missing or damaged, I would walk away, because that gives you a clue of the kind of folk that have been working on it in the past. So that's something that I would look out for. Obviously, well, service history, everyone wants service history. That doesn't bother me too much because I'm an engineer, so I tend to do everything myself. That's the reversing camera. That charges up the batteries in there, a solar panel. Another thing to look out for, on the rear there are on the dampers there are rubber bellows to keep the dust out. They're not MOT-able, you don't have to have those bellows, but I would have a look, because I had to change both of them and they were very ribby, and they're quite expensive, those bellows, rubber bellows, and not that easy to fit. You have to sort of pull them over things, and you can get them from Flying Spares separately. If you get the units from Crew, to get the bellows you have to buy the whole suspension unit, which is many hundreds of pounds. So that's something else I would look out for. I changed those last year, and well, they keep the dust out. It's not an MOT problem. Don't think there's anything else I can say. The obvious things don't really apply to this car. You know, it's not old enough to be full of rust or anything, and they're not rust prone. This is the filler, just there. And there's a button inside that you can release that, or there's a little pull cable inside. So I think that covers most of the things people were asking. So you know, this is fairly low mileage really, 64,000. There are no oil leaks or fluid leaks. I would always recommend changing the fluids regularly on these things, particularly the engine oil and filter. And things like the pollen filters. Pollen filters are down here. Just unscrew a couple of screws and the pollen filters pull out. Similarly, there are filters to the interior system on either side, down here on the right and on the left. You can pop those out with a flat blade screwdriver and check they're clean. That's an important thing. If you're buying a high mileage car, check that out. Check those filters either side. You have to get down and to get to them, but they're about 6 inches square. But if they're blocked and it damages the heater motor, you've got to take the whole dash out to replace it, and that's not an easy job. So I would recommend that you check that as a matter of priority. Let's close up. Right, well, I'll just put the ignition on and the car's running. Right, pop it in drive. As soon as you put it in drive, the central locking actuates. Right, well, we'll pop her back in the garage.